Welcome everyone to the Mangalorian. I hope you're having a great day today. I'm here. My name is Danny, joined by Jordan over here to my left, to your right. And we're going to be breaking down volume 31 of the original Dragon Ball manga. So we started this series with volume 1. We are now volume 31, going all the way back. The whole purpose of this is to take a look at Toriyama's original masterwork of Dragon Ball without the anime, although we do talk about the anime comparisons on here, without any of the sort of the different writers and all that. It's mostly just going to be us looking at the purest Dragon Ball, which was Toriyama and his editors. And boy, his editors, we'll be talking a lot about them both in this stream and in the volume 32 stream. So Jordan, what's up, man?
Not a whole lot, man. Let's talk about Imperfect Cell and Krillin and Vegeta, and let's get into it.
Well, the last edition of the Mangalorian, we got into the introduction of Cell, and I was really digging the mystery stuff. We were talking about like how Toriyama took his time. He was actually patient here instead of just rushing to get to a conclusion, which he would do in other arcs. He sort of built it bit by bit. And it was, even though I knew what was going to happen, it was so suspenseful reading it back. Like, make no mistake, I've read the original manga, but it's been a while. And doing it with you on these streams is a different experience. It's a bit more like we're reading it together, like we're a classroom and we're reading it together, as weird as it may sound. But I got to really enjoy it a lot more. I wanted to ask you, what do you think? What is your opinion on the way Toriyama sort of made Cell different from Frieza and Demon King Piccolo and Majin Buu, to where he had a prime objective. He had a programming objective, which is to absorb 17 and 18 to become perfect. Now, we're going to break down more of that in the next few chapters or the next few volumes, but I wanted to ask you what your thoughts were on Toriyama making Cell kind of like a Saiyan, where he's seeking to get stronger. He's not just already the top villain who's already strong. He has a mission before he becomes the ultimate threat of the arc.
I love it. I mean, it really kind of reflects what Toriyama was trying to imply about a lot of the characters in this arc. If you remember, we talked about in one of the previous Mangalorians about how, Tien is one of the Ten Shinhan is one of the people who is like, no, I want to fight the androids too, and Goku, like he wants to fight. So essentially, like, I like that about Cell because this arc itself highlights a theme amongst all the characters, and that is they have an inherent desire to do something that's not necessarily selfless, but in some cases, you can do selfish things with selfless intent. And that's kind of the duality between Cell and these other characters. Despite the fact that Cell wants to achieve perfection, Goku just wants to get stronger, which is very, very similar, but their motivations are one is very, very pure, and one is like, Cell is willing to sacrifice anything, and even the entire planet, whatever, in order to achieve perfection. Whereas Goku, he is not like that. Like, he wants to get stronger, but he's not willing to sacrifice anything that he actually cares about in order to get stronger. And I think that Cell and Goku really parallel each other in a really interesting way, and Gohan in this arc. And they actually kind of do the same thing with Vegeta. They basically use Vegeta to exaggerate very similar character traits to what they exaggerate for Cell as well in this arc. So I think it's really cool.
No, and the thing that I like too that really gets brought up later, not yet, we'll be breaking that down when we get to it, is that Cell is the closest you're going to get to Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo facing off against literally themselves, or a reflection of whom they used to be. When you look at Cell, because he's literally composed of the cells of the good and bad guys of the past. It's like a rematch with Frieza while also dealing with, and not just powers, like, oh, he has Piccolo's powers and Goku's
Yeah,
powers.
everybody is facing themselves in a very unique way, and I love
Yeah.
that because
And
because
personality wise, Cell does a lot of shit that Goku, Vegeta, Frieza also have done in the past. So
yeah,
Toriyama's almost sticking it in their own faces, like almost like they're fighting into a mirror. It reminds me of that awesome scene from Final Fantasy IV where Cecil goes into the magic mirror and becomes a paladin and has to fight himself as a dark knight. He goes from darkness to light. That's kind of what we're getting here, you
yeah.
know?
Well, I hate to bring it back to Journey to the West yet again, but
No, you
it's
should. That's the
it's
point.
just like whenever Sun Wukong fought himself. It's the exact same thing. It's literally like he's fighting. There's literally a section of Journey to the West where Sun Wukong is fighting a representation of all of his past sins and the things that he used to do, you know. And that's also like a huge theme in Dragon Ball in general. Like Goku being introduced to the Saiyans is like facing his past. So this is like an extension of that. And I really do enjoy that about Cell because it applies to everybody in a more broader spectrum. And I think that's cool.
Now, before we get into this here, chapter 365, Son Goku Awakens, you and I have a new edition of Sayuki dropping. Will that be coming out this week? Because I want to drop it like this week, man. Like
I'm gonna
Thursday.
try and I have 3 minutes left to edit of it, so probably.
Okay. Okay. So, all right. Very good. Yeah. And y'all are going to enjoy that because myself and Jordan break down Super Saiyan 4 Goku versus Goma and where in Journey to the West that was borrowed from. And we go into detail. So it'll be a good time. All right. So let's talk about Son Goku Awakens. Now, what's going on here is Cell 117 and 18. Here, all the heroes are discussing what they're going to do, what's next. Vegeta shows up, and the main premise of this part of the manga, the main kind of like situation, is that Piccolo now knows everything about Cell, and he's letting everybody else know. And now Vegeta's basically like, okay, we've got androids. I just got my ass kicked by one of them, and the other one's kicked my ass too. Now we've got another problem. We have to get stronger. And this is where Vegeta starts saying, I will surpass and go beyond a Super Saiyan. And even Trunks is like, go beyond even a Super Saiyan. Now, this is one of the first times that going beyond the level of Super Saiyan is possible. Throughout the Frieza saga, especially the second half, it's built up Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan, Super Saiyajin, Densetsu no Super Saiyajin, right? Now they're talking about going beyond. Do you think this was a situation where Toriyama wrote himself into a corner, or do you think he always thought, okay, we like maybe he always thought even if you become a Super Saiyan, you can still get stronger? Because remember, he made it up as he went along.
You know, he could have easily just powered them up in a more traditional sense, like he has later on in the series. But in this sense, I think part of the reason that he continuously builds on upgrading Super Saiyan is because Super Saiyan itself was so successful.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Super Saiyan as a concept was like ridiculously. So the idea, imagine, you know, you're trying to sell a product, you're trying to make it interesting and appealing to your fans. What better thing to say than going beyond Super Saiyan, you know? Like that's going to grab people's attention right away. So I think that's actually what he's thinking. I don't think that he necessarily wrote himself into a corner. I think he's thinking, what can I do to really like grab their attention and be like, hey, whoa, there's something cool coming. And he's really just playing on the success and the allure of Super Saiyan. So
yeah, and I want to make this clear. I'm not necessarily certain that at the time of this chapter's publication, because this is the first time that Vegeta's mentioned going beyond. I don't think Toriyama had really come up with what would be known as Super Saiyan 2 yet. I think he was still kind of thinking in his head, okay, what are we going to do to go past it? And then, you know, obviously we have the grades, which we're going to get to mostly next chapter. We'll be discussing that. but it wasn't like he knew from the very beginning that, you know, there was going to be X number of Super Saiyan forms or whatever. I think it is a thing where, as a Discovery writer, he sort of had the idea, but
Mhm.
he didn't know what it was going to look like. And obviously now with modern Dragon Ball, you know, back then Toriyama, the way that he would change up between Super Saiyan is just either something muscular on your body or the length of hair, but it was always gold. Now with modern Dragon Ball, we've got pink hair, blue hair, we've got silver hair. So Toriyama really now explored the color spectrum. So it makes you wonder, Jordan, if maybe in an alternate timeline, Super Saiyan 2 was like a different color. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
maybe Toriyama himself was thinking about that. There is a panel of grade 3 Trunks with red hair in the
Yep.
original color pages of the manga. That
Yeah.
actually exists. It wouldn't be the final look, but it does exist. So that
Well,
tells me that maybe he was thinking about using different hair colors even back then.
Nakasuru and Toriyama both have said that red is like a powerful color.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's probably the logic. It's like, hey, you know, red is a powerful looking color. It can be like a level above yellow, you know. That's probably the logic. But yeah.
I want to get to what Adam says here. Based on Trunks' experience, I feel like he shouldn't be shocked about going beyond Super Saiyan. You're forgetting something about Trunks and Gohan. Vegeta and Goku are way more experienced fighters. They're fighting geniuses. Trunks and Gohan have more potential. So Trunks and Gohan don't even know their own strength. Who knew that Gohan would be able to surpass everybody? Goku. Who knew that Trunks going to be so strong? Adult Gohan in the future. These guys don't even know how strong they are. Whereas Goku and Vegeta are fighting geniuses. They know their bodies very, very well. And right here, if you look at the very next panel, Vegeta says, I'm sure that Kakarot will try to do the same. Yes, you can count on that. He already knows that the minute that Goku gets up, even though him and Goku have not had a conversation about it, he already knows that Goku's suspecting the same thing he is.
Yeah. And I always found it very interesting that the Saiyans are like battle hungry airheads in a lot of ways. But when it comes to figuring out the mechanics of their transformations and how to get stronger, all of a sudden they become geniuses. You know what I mean?
I think it only applies to Goku and Vegeta, though, because
I agree.
Broly's an idiot. I mean, sorry, but he is. He doesn't know any better. Paragus, Goku and Vegeta stand out to me as being like maybe the two smartest Saiyans when it comes to combat. Is that fair?
Especially in Dragon Ball Z, yes. I will say that here recently in Super, Gohan has got a lot more battle smart.
Yes.
Because he figured out how to use beasts. But that's thanks to Piccolo. That's all Piccolo's training.
Well, and then Trunks also with the Ikari form that still has not been shown ever again. So they got their moments, but it wasn't. But their moments came from, to borrow one of your terms, which is survival instinct. That's where they got it from. Whereas Goku and Vegeta are the type that will train for shit. Yeah. So this whole subplot here is one I actually enjoy. It's an episode that I remember I had not seen it in Japanese. I saw it dubbed first on TV, and I was intrigued because I had never seen this episode when I was watching the series. I had the series out of order in Japanese, so the episodes I didn't have in Japanese, I had to watch dubbed, and that is Trunks and Krillin going to the underground lair of Dr. Gero, and here we see the baby Cell. So it's imperative that that I actually really like this because it shows that if they had not gone down there, bro, who's to say Cell wouldn't have woken up during the time of Super? I mean, he would have been smashed up, but nevertheless.
Yeah, that's interesting to think about for sure.
Yeah, and I always like this episode when they go to the underground lair. In the anime, it's like a whole episode. Here, it's like 2 pages. You know,
it's
they literally just destroy everything.
We didn't get this back then, but it makes me think looking at this. You know how the Saiyans in modern Dragon Ball are floating in that pod? Like they're like floating in that egg shaped like tank thing.
When they're
I'm thinking
born.
that Toriyama was thinking about Cell whenever he designed that for the Saiyans, because Cell sitting in that tank the way he does reminds me a lot of what he did later on with the Saiyans. Like it's pretty much the same thing.
Well, I think this was actually even before then, the Frieza rejuvenation pod, which Toriyama completely and utterly ripped that off from Star Wars.
Right.
And he did it because he loves Star Wars. He's a massive fan of the original trilogy. His first manga he ever submitted to Shueisha was a Star Wars parody. So when you see Goku or Vegeta with the mask on inside of the rejuvenation tank, that's a Bacta tank from The Empire Strikes Back, where you see Luke Skywalker floating there after he got into the battle with the Wampa.
Well, I'm thinking about the fact that this is baby Cell. You know what I mean? So it's like
right. Like I see what you mean. The children.
Yeah. It's like a womb almost. You know, it's like an artificial womb.
It is like an artificial womb. Yeah, but we've also talked in the past about the symbolism of an egg in Journey to the West, and it's used over and over again.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
So Trunks and Krillin destroy the lab. There's not much for us to break down, but they got the blueprints. Now, the blueprints for 16 are going to be important because if they had not gone down there, then Trunks wouldn't have. It's funny how the story plays out like this. Trunks wouldn't have given the blueprints to Bulma for 16, or for Bulma to have gotten the remote control. So with the schematics, with the blueprints that Trunks finds here, that leads to Bulma both creating the remote control and learning about how to disable 16's explosive bomb. And of course, 16's explosive bomb not working would sort of weave its way into Gohan's transformation, but that's down the road, man. That's down the road. So Tien Han and Piccolo here are former Goku rivals from OG Dragon Ball, sensing there's a problem, and this is where they're going around. They're seeing that Cell is making quick work of these cities. I actually really enjoy this, both in anime and manga, because we get to see more of the world, more of the little towns that are around, because Cell goes from town to town, from village to village, sucking dudes.
Yeah, Cell is terrifying. He's like, I remember thinking about
guys.
Yeah, well, I thought it's sucking me, bro. I remember thinking about him like showing up in the city, you know, showing up in where I live, you know, and being like, there's literally nothing you can do. He literally is just going to walk up and stab you with his tail and drain you dry, bro. There's nothing you can do. It's messed up. It's crazy to think about. It's scary. It's terrifying.
There's probably people out there who want him to do that.
Maybe.
I'm sure there are. So this is where, and again, I like all this because the anime version, like I mentioned before, is multiple episodes. Manga version's a breeze to read through. I mean, they literally took 4 to 5 pages, maybe 6, 7 pages of the manga and stretched it out into like episodes. Because here we have, right here, Bulma talking about finding the weakness with the blueprints, her and her father, Burifu Hakase, Dr. Brief. And I like what he says here. What a shame. If only Dr. Gero had put his genius mind to some better use. Reminds me of that classic line from the original 60s Batman. You know, Robin, she was quite the looker and she was tough. If only she used her skills for good instead of evil. And they would always say that over and over again for every villain. It
reminds me of what Goku said about Frieza, you know, about how he was a waste. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, and he was. I mean, now it's come back to haunt Goku because Goku teaching Frieza about being a martial artist has made Frieza significantly stronger.
Yep.
You know, in modern Dragon Ball. So here we have the television report. There isn't too much here that we can really break down. They're trying to figure out what to do about Cell, but their whole thing is they're going to try and get the jump on Cell. And then this is the moment where Goku in his short shorts wakes up out of bed. And Goku puts on his clothing. So immediately, once the heart virus medicine kicks in, Goku's up. And he immediately wants to go train.
Of course
That's
it does.
that's
Yeah.
Goku. I mean, that's just in his character. And then he said, I heard everything you guys were saying in my dreams. I've got a pretty good idea about what's going on, which is just so funny because it's almost like Toriyama's lazy way
He's
of
like, yeah, he's like, I'm not going to like put all this effort into like explaining this to Goku again. That's just not happening. We need to move on, you know.
I've been in situations before where I've like fallen asleep in a loud area and I hear people talk and it sort of bleeds into my dreams, but not this clearly.
Yeah, not like I know absolutely everything that's been happening the entire time. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean,
And
this
I
is
like
Goku. I mean, you know, not to like justify it or anything, but I guess he did just touch Krillin's head and absorb all of his knowledge instantly. So
yeah,
who knows what he's capable of at this point, you know?
that is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Okay, so here if
You know what I
Vegeta
would just to add on to this for me, you know what I would have loved is if Goku like astral projected in some filler and like saw it from like, you know, like he's asleep and he like astral projects and he can like see
like how
everything.
Krillin and Gohan trained that one time where they were meditating and they astral projected.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. I mean, do you think the Susanoo form in Super is kind of like that?
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Okay, so here he straight up says, if Vegeta can't beat them, then I can't either. So his whole thing is he's not going to jump right into the fight, even though he's recovered. He's going to go try to surpass the Super Saiyan. So there you go. And this is where they're like, you're going to try and go higher than even Super Saiyan. Is it possible? And he's like, well, I'm not sure, to be honest, but I would have to train to find out. And this is very similar to what he said at the end of Daima about Super Saiyan 4, where what it was, and people really got this mixed up. I saw you getting into
Dude. I did a whole video where I talked about
me too.
Where one of the problems with modern Dragon Ball fans is not only have they not watched the series in a very long time, like the older stuff, they
Or at
also
all.
treat everything like it's separate from each other. So whenever Goku says something, they forget that there's like episodes and episodes and episodes of context that they're just not remembering, you know? It's kind of like how, you know, once Goku pushed into Super Saiyan 2, he was like, yeah, I can probably push Super Saiyan farther all the time. Like he had it in the back of his mind consistently from that point on. He's like, I can probably make Super Saiyan even stronger, you know? So
I'll take a screenshot of that for later. Well, and that's the thing is it's very similar because Goku knew, or not knew, but he suspected that there was something out there stronger. He just didn't know.
yeah, if you can push from 1 to 2 to 3, what's to say you can't push to 4? It would be difficult as hell.
Well, I
but
meant here as well.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, it's just it's very easy logic to follow, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Right. But I'm going to use this as an example. Actually, this would have been good for your video or my video because I actually forgot he said this, because I did totally forget about how he said, oh, there should be something like that, but I don't know. I like that Goku's very honest, where he's like, I think like my body tells me that there's more. I just don't know exactly how to get it. And for Super Saiyan 4,
if he really can get it, because at this point Goku does question his limits more than any other arc. Like this is the arc where Goku's like, am I like,
because Super Saiyan was so built up.
Yeah, this is the one arc where Goku is like starting to have doubts in the idea that he can continuously get stronger. And we see that come full circle by the end of this arc. But you can, and I think it's partially because he's kind of having to come to terms with his mortality yet again, you know, similar to how whenever he got killed fighting Raditz, except this time he was almost killed by a heart virus. And now he's got the androids who are stronger than Super Saiyans running around terrorizing everything as well as Cell. So he's really having to come to terms with that. So,
and now we've got Cell. So there you go. Game over. Jesse's talking about my red ribbon hat that I've worn for like 2 years at this point. It's not me who went to the dark side. That's you who haven't been here, but welcome now. But yeah, the point of all this is that Goku's always had a suspicion of, and not just suspicion, motivation to get stronger, because he thinks there's always a new mountain to climb. And that's discussed not only in Daima with Super Saiyan 4, but now in Dragon Ball Super, because when he got Ultra Instinct, he even then realized there's still higher mountains to climb. So that's just the story of Dragon Ball. It's always going to be like that. There's always a bigger fish, as they say. So this is a part that I think is underrated by a lot of fans who, again, forget. Chi-Chi straight up was like, I don't want Gohan to train, but I figure I'm not going to talk you out of it. So go ahead and get strong. But when the fight with the artificial humans is over, I won't be having any more interference with Gohan studies. Chi-Chi actually says, fine, you're going to take Gohan with you. I'm okay with it. But after you're done, he's going to go back and go to school. Yeah. I love this. And once again, I want to reiterate the anime version. This is why you guys have to read the manga and the anime if you really want to gain full context for what Toriyama wrote. Yeah. She's much more of a dragon lady in the anime than she is.
Yeah, she's really cool right here for sure.
Yeah, the manga, she's a lot more likable. She does have her moments of annoyance, but Toei almost beat that joke to death. Because it is a joke. Whereas in the manga, she's like, fine, take them. So this is the part where Goku's back in action. Everyone's all like, oh, Goku, you're back.
He just pops up.
This is where I think he calls him Kamikolo. There it is, bro. Kamikolo-sama. Don't go merging our names. My base is mostly Piccolo anyway. So just keep using Piccolo, which is funny because they end up merging names later on with Gogeta, Vegeta, etc.
Yeah, he's like, I ain't like that, bro. Leave me alone.
I read the manga, but I skimmed through the chapters. That means you didn't read the manga. Bro, I can't sit here and say I read the Bible, but I skimmed through it. No, you either read it or you didn't, bro. Skimming and reading are two different things. Now, the thing about the manga, the reason why I think it's worth reading multiple times is because you get to appreciate the story and the art. And when you look at the art, that's the skimming part. But if you actually take your time, and this is something I like about comics as a whole, not just manga. When you have a good artist like a Toriyama or like Eric Ross, or Alex Ross, I'm sorry, Eric Larson, Todd McFarlane, some of my favorite like artists, you really do appreciate the art.
Yeah. And also the dialogue, people don't understand how important dialogue is and the implications of it in terms of like just enjoying raw storytelling. Sometimes you can read something and it can be just as appealing and just as mind-blowing as an image. So
Alt says, I've reread the original manga 15 times all the way through in the past 15 years. And each time I discovered something I didn't catch before. I haven't even read it 15 times.
I've read it a lot.
I read it
but I've read it a lot. I know that.
Yeah, I first read it in like 99. It was a really bad scanlation where they flipped the images and shit. But I definitely haven't done it 15 times. So that's good.
Right.
So this is the first time that the Room of Spirit and Time is mentioned. Now, in reality, the dub calls it the hyperbolic time chamber. But the reason why it's called that is because Barry Watson, who is the producer of the dub and the reason why the dub is so garbage, is so fucking stupid that he got the word hyperbolic confused with hyperbaric. Hyperbolic means hyperbole, which means let's hype something up. This is the greatest moment in the history of our sport. That's hyperbolic. Hyperbaric is when you are away from time. But because Barry Watson's a fucking moron yuck, let's change Dragon Ball. In Texas, that's why the dub has so many problems, because he kept wanting to change it. But the name of the room is the Room of Spirit and Time. Now, I saw somebody earlier asking, why didn't they use the Room of Spirit and Time in the 3 years prior to the fight with the androids? My answer to that, and I want to see what you think about this, is that Goku probably thought that Gohan and some of the others weren't ready to take those conditions because of how hard it is to be in that place for a whole year. And so it wasn't something they really wanted to use unless absolutely necessary. So what do you
My thoughts
think?
are on it is that it wasn't necessary. I mean, everything is so rushed within the first few arcs that to expect Goku to be like, "Hey guys, let's go train at the time chamber," is just kind of unrealistic to me. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that happen. Like Goku's got enough on his plate. I mean, he literally gets killed like right off the bat, and then he trains with King Kai. Then he comes back and fights the Saiyans, and then
Well, I think he
on the
meant
planet
during the
Namek.
3 years after Trunks left before the androids.
Oh, you mean in that little amount of time? Okay, well, I mean, even then, it's probably not necessary. Like he himself says that it's like a year's worth of training. If they've got 3 years, then
That's true. Yeah, why would you go into the Room of Spirit and Time and have to deal with those consequences when you've got 3 years of actual time?
right.
That's why. And I should actually put that in my video, because you have to remember the Room of Spirit and Time has a lot of strange weather phenomenon. It's just a big, vast emptiness, and that's going to fuck with you, bro. Like,
Yeah.
think about, I don't know how many of y'all ever been to jail. I have never done a prison sentence, but I've talked to people who have. And if you get put in the hole, it's 4 walls, no sunlight. When you get stuck in a place that has no sunlight, is vast and empty, it starts to fuck with your brain, dude. You start to hallucinate. You start to have paranoid, schizophrenic episodes. Like, this is the kind of stuff that I have to go discuss in my breakdown of the Room of Spirit and Time video that I will be making sometime this year, because the Room of Spirit and Time is not candy, bro, which is why I kind of respect Frieza for doing it for 10 years, because that dude really was focused. You know what I mean? You got to give him credit.
You're literally facing the void. You know, it's like there's nothing there. It's just you in a empty void of endless nothingness, and all you have to do is learn more about yourself and improve yourself, and that's kind of the point of it.
Yeah, no, it's gonna mess with you, bro. It's gonna mess with your brain, and that's talked about. By the way, we're gonna get to a part in the manga where they do talk about that. Like, there is a conversation. I don't remember if it's Popo, but it is discussed. So right here, Krillin's like, "We're having a bunch of new enemies stronger than Frieza. Doesn't that scare you, or are you excited?" Goku says a little bit of both. Now, if you remember during the Raditz fights when he was like, "Yeah, I'm kind of afraid," but now Goku has this weird sort of optimistic. He has an optimistic concern. Now, what I love about this Goku that I've always found interesting, the Cell Saga Goku, is that he has confidence more so in his son as the arc progresses, but he does have that fear, but he has a lot more confidence. And the reason as to why I think he has that, Jordan, is because at this point in the story, Goku's already died and he's already faced off against Frieza. I don't think, going back to what I said earlier, because like we talk about, Dragon Ball fans, I'd hate to say this, is going to sound insulting, but a lot of Dragon Ball fans are really simple-minded. This series is way deeper than people realize. When you have died and come back to life, it's never happened to me, but just try to imagine it. And when you faced off against an intergalactic tyrant on a volcanic planet about to explode, it's gonna fuck with you. It's gonna, start to make you change your perspective on life. And Jedi Outcast says, I think because Goku knew SSJ had more potential. That is also true. He was excited to see what else he could do. So I always like that this Goku is different from the previous Goku. This is a character that changes. But remember, Jordan, there's no character development. Dragon Ball has no story. Don't forget that, bro. Yeah. Don't forget that. No, what's the one that's my favorite, bro? It's not that deep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, moving on. This is one of my favorite scenes. Trunks, Goku, Gohan, Vegeta. The fathers, the sons. They have this. I love this scene so much. They have this conversation.
He's just been standing there for 3 days.
and Goku's like, yeah.
He's traumatized, bro. He is legit traumatized. 18 did such a number on him that he just stood at the top of a mountain looking at a sky for 3 days.
Right. And I like this too, because Goku is like, hey, I know what you want. I want it too. I know a place for you to train. Because first he's like, leave me alone. And then he's like, no, you gotta talk to me. He's like, there's a room up at God's palace where you can do a year's worth of training in one day. He's like, are you serious?
I wish
you should come with us. It ain't like I'm asking you to train with me or anything. Huh?
I wish she walked up to him and he was like, man, she really did a number on you. That would be hilarious, bro.
When you got beat up by a girl.
Yeah, that would also be funny. Any of those lines would be great.
No, what would be funny is if he said, some people think that Frieza is a girl, so that's 2.
Oh, no.
Idiots, of course. Anyways, Vegeta's like, I'll do it, but I want to go in first. Meanwhile, guess what happens? The androids make it to Goku's house. Sure enough, Goku's not home. Of course, they knew it was coming. 16 said, I don't sense Son Goku's power on my radar. His friends are with him. Most likely places they'll be at the Capsule Corporation in West City or Muten Roshi's Island in South District F.
That's awesome that he knows that. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was programmed with all the information. He knows everything. I also like that the androids, if this was the future version of 17 and 18, they would have destroyed Goku's house. They just leave. Like, why are we going to destroy this? Like, they're much more chill. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So they're going to Roshi's house. Meanwhile, the Saiyans are all up here. Mr. Popo gets them ready. Toilet, food, bed. Good luck with training. And then Vegeta's like, my ultimate objective is you. You do know that, right? Why are you helping me get stronger? He's like, I probably ain't going to be able to beat these guys by myself. You must be sensing that too. So it's like, we're going to have to work together again. And then Vegeta's like, you might regret this, with that shit-eating grin. I love Vegeta here because he's still... The thing about that smile is there's 2 reasons why he's smiling. One, because he's thinking, this guy is serious and, doesn't even know that I'm coming for him.
Yeah.
But he's also like, this guy Goku's Kakarot is like nobody I've ever met before. Like, he's weird. Right. He's not like Frieza or Nappa. They're not the same people. They ain't like us, bro, like Kendrick Lamar said. Vegeta has never met somebody like Goku before in his life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sleep says,
so this idea... go ahead.
The manga's amazing. The art style is a lot better than the anime. Well, it's more consistent. Better it depends on the episode. What were you going to say?
So this idea of like time changing the way that it does is also a thing in Journey to the West. So whenever Sun Wukong goes to heaven, a year...
Which this is heaven.
Yeah. Whenever he goes to heaven and comes back, his tribe is like, why the hell were you gone for so long? And it's because like a year in heaven is like, I don't know, I can't remember how much it is. I think it's like 10 years on Earth. So he's obviously taking from that here as well, like the whole like going to heaven and that changing how time works thing. Like that's a major plot point in Journey to the West, because he leaves, goes to heaven, and comes back, and his tribe has been suffering for all this time, and he had no clue because time passed differently, you know. So
Right. I want to quickly. Joker here says you don't always have to go in for a full day, though. You can go in hour by hour, which is true, but and they just want to maximize their time. But also in the Majin Buu saga, that what you're talking about is explored more. So when we get to the Buu saga, bro, we'll talk about that. I think that's volume 39. So see how Trunks said it's so hot in here and the air is so thin, the gravity is many times heavier. That's why they didn't want to train in there, bro, because it's not the ideal conditions. It is not the ideal
kind of the
conditions.
opposite on purpose, yeah.
Yes, this is correct. To Benjamin's question, this is correct. You age a day, but you don't. Your birthday hasn't really happened yet. That's why Goku's age is inconsistent, because do you count the room of spirit and time or not? So this is the first time we're seeing the room of spirit and time. Wide empty space. It's just very, very difficult to train there. It stretches so far. What an incredible size. It stretches so far. What an incredible size. Hold on, I got to get that and show it to Bashar, bro. I'm doing that right now.
Oh my god.
Literally right now I'm doing that, bro. Man, Mr. Go. Where is this guy at, bro? That's funny to me. I'm gonna start that account soon on Twitter. Out of context Dragon Ball. I'm gonna start that account. Is this the place Goku said he struggled to last a month? This would drive anyone to the point of insanity. That's what we were talking about earlier, dude. Like, listen to me. Listen to me, motherfuckers. I'm almost never wrong. Okay, I was wrong about the fusion bugs, all right? That ain't my fault that they wrote it like that. But I'm almost never wrong. So then Vegeta's like, oh no, this is perfect. This is fine for me. All right, moving on. So here we basically have everybody hanging out at Kame House, and then guess what? Cell's eating people. Then bam, here come the androids looking for Son Goku. And then Piccolo's like, great. I don't know if this is good or bad timing. So he says, so what basically happens is Piccolo agrees to fight 17 in one of the most, I don't want to say underrated, because a lot of people love the fight. It is a great fight. But this time it's Piccolo with Kami. So it's a Super Namekian. He's more confident. He challenges 17 to a fight.
Yeah.
And
I think it's only underrated in the sense that there's pretty much like very minimal build up to it. And it's not like these two like extremely popular characters fighting each other that they like build up to consistently through the arc. It's just, you know, Piccolo versus 17, you know, like out of the blue. And that's what's really cool about it as well. Like the way the fight itself plays out is really interesting too. But the fact that they just randomly have Piccolo and 17 fight is awesome. Like,
outside of the movies, the answer is yes. In the movies, the Dr. Willow's robots, biofighters, go visit them. To your question. So Piccolo tells him about an island that's uninhabited. He's going to go handle them. And here Krillin's like, okay, Vegeta should be done soon. But even though, of course, they just went in, remember, time works differently in there. So they end up going to the island. Piccolo starts removing his clothing, and we're moving on. Now, I have shown this off before. Chapter 367, Toriyama takes an entire page to explain the whole history of the androids. And I did a video where I went into this in even more detail. The defective models, not number 8, 9 through 15, which are not And it says here, each was defective in some way, but 13, 14, and 15 were close to perfection. Now, those would end up being the villains for movie 7, Dragon Ball Z movie 7. But Toriyama did not write that movie. Toei took this one sentence right here and turned it into a whole movie. Made a whole movie out of it. So, yeah. Then we have 16, 17 and 18, 19 and 20. I mean, there's not much for us to break down, but Cell, I always thought Cell was Android 21 until Fighters gave us the real 21, you know. So now we get to some good shit here, combat-wise. Piccolo takes off his clothing, and 17's like, oh, you have no chance of winning, and then he's like, you know, things have changed now. Like, he doesn't know how much stronger I've gotten. So then Piccolo powers up, and then Piccolo and 17 start going at it. Very good fight, bro. And even 16 is like, wait a minute, that is not Piccolo. He's like, what did you say? Like, it's not the same guy. Piccolo comes in with some attacks, ends up knocking 17 on his ass, which was not expected.
Yeah.
Yep. And even 18's like, oh, not bad. He's about to fire blast. He does. 17 gets out of the way. Oops. And then meanwhile, Gohan and Goku are sensing the fight going on. And of course, Gohan,
he wants to go help Piccolo, right?
You're right. Well, he really wants to help him shortly. We haven't got there yet. They're out of our league right now. You know, we can't do anything. We can't even sense the androids. And then he's like, Piccolo's gonna get killed. And then he's like, no, give him some credit. He's very strong right now. You know, here comes Piccolo. This is him doing the Hell Zone grenade for the first time. I actually love this move.
Yeah, me too.
It's awesome. A great move, bro. Now drop dead. And then he fires them all on him. And
Piccolo, I love this move in the old Budokai Tenkaichi games.
Yeah. Well, it's fun in Sparking Zero, too.
He dropped that line every single time.
Which line?
Dead. Yeah, he would say that every time.
And then here is the barrier. He's using some form of barrier. Now, I did a whole video on this. 17's not the only one that can create a barrier, because we see Frieza do it. We see Vegeta do it. But 17's barrier is like almost like its own thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we saw it come back in Super.
Yeah, and Cell uses it in the games too.
Yeah. So meanwhile, speaking of Cell, he's going around absorbing people. And now, because Piccolo and 17 are fighting, and Cell can sense Piccolo's energy, he knows Piccolo's fighting one of the androids. Unfortunately, now Piccolo accidentally helped Cell find where they're 17. At.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the whole point was to be stealth.
Yep.
That was the whole point. Hold on. I have a super chat that I may have missed. Okay, I missed this one. Xavier says, what do you guys think would have happened if Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Trunks, Gohan, and maybe the humans were all able to go in the room of spirit and time? Well, at first they said it was a 2-person limit, but that was, I guess, retconned in the Buu Saga. What do you think about that? I mean, I think they would have had to have found different places to train and not gotten in the way of each other.
I mean, I don't think that
Vegeta at this rate was so like not willing to work with anybody too. So, you know?
I think that the room of spirit and time would be a much bigger feat if you were a human who came to visit Kami, who was trying to get stronger, and you weren't Goku. I think Goku and Vegeta, particularly because they're Saiyans, make the room of spirit and time seem like less of a feat than it actually is. I feel like it would actually be tougher for a human to make it through that, or any of the Z fighters for that matter. So, I mean, they would definitely make some kind of progress in training, but I don't think it would go as smoothly as like Trunks, Vegeta, Goku, and Gohan.
Yeah. I mean, their bodies were conditioned to put up with a lot more than the average human.
Yeah.
But he's not wrong in that the humans could go in there and train on their own,
Yeah.
just probably not with everybody. Plus, with Cell on the loose, I think they felt more comfortable having some people outside of it so they can distract Cell and the androids. Because if they all went in, what's going to happen if they leave the room of spirit and time? All of a sudden, Chi-Chi's been eaten up. Everyone's been eaten up by Cell. You know what I mean? That would be a horrific nightmare. Sleep says, I know Kaioken gives your body a lot of strain, but since Cell can regenerate, wouldn't it make sense for Cell to use Kaioken times 10 against Gohan? Kaioken, the problem is that it uses up a lot of energy. And yes, you're right. Cell can regenerate, and that would benefit him, but it still is an energy guzzler. And while Cell is regenerating, Gohan could get the jump on him.
Yep.
So it's one of those things where, yes, he could have, and he's right. We never really see Cell use Kaioken, even though he presumably knows it. He says he knows it. It would have been cool to see, but against Gohan, it might have been a bad idea at that point.
Yeah.
So now Cell knows what's going on. Moving on here, we have the battle continuing. 17 is bleeding right now. He realizes it's not the same android. Piccolo's like, I'm not going to tell you where Goku is. And now 17's like, well, I'm going to get you even more. So here comes 17 on the offensive. 17 fighting really well. Again, this is a very fun fight. And this is a fight also that I like because there's no Saiyans. It's just 17 and Piccolo. No Goku, no Gohan, no Vegeta. Dragon Ball Z became so much about the Saiyans that when you see a fight without Saiyans, it's almost refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also I like the technique here. They do a lot of great technique. Elbow, backflip. Basically Piccolo's like, you have, he says your speed is good, but you don't hit that hard. And then he's like, you got a pretty big mouth, don't you? And then he says he's the strongest in all of history, which he's not, but he thinks he is.
Right.
And then here comes Piccolo again. Again, 17 does have the speed advantage. He comes through elbow, kick, right hand. Piccolo does a backflip, headbutt. 17 uses the ground to break his momentum. I really do like this. Hold on. The Saiyans are too OP to be in this fight. Are you reading the same manga that I'm reading, bro? Because at this point, the Saiyans are weaker than both of these guys.
Yep.
Did you forget what we're reading, dude? I think he's I think he's doing that thing where his brain is defaulting to what happens after.
Yeah.
Right now, Piccolo is the strongest good guy, bro. He's the strongest Z fighter. Yep. He's stronger than all the Saiyans. And 18 just clapped Vegeta's cheeks, bro. What are you talking about? He thinks this is the movies. I don't know what he's talking about, bro. Of all the times to say that here, when we know
Piccolo is jacked in that image.
He's always been a big motherfucker. But yeah, he is. And then 18 is they seem to be evenly matched. So they're going at it. Great blocks, great defensive moves. Here comes Cell, who's hungry. I've been waiting so long for this. The day that I attained my perfect form. He's dying
He's
for
hungry for it, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they're basically like, what are we going to do? And they can't really do much, But Krillin can sense, and Tenshinhan can sense that Cell is on his way. So, damn, you know what I'm saying? We got a problem here. Now, here's the other twist. Bulma calls him on the phone and says she may have found a weak spot in the androids. She reveals that 17 and 18 were designed with an emergency shutdown circuit. If we could switch them off, then destroying them should be a piece of cake. And as luck would have it, I just finished a controller that'll do that. So she has a remote control that would shut off the androids. Bulma is always the most useful Dragon Ball character.
Yep.
Always. So now Krillin's like, I'm on my way. He's like, but he's thinking destroy them because he can't think past his dick.
Yeah.
I've been there, bro. I've made that mistake. Gohan and Goku can sense that Cell's coming. So right now we've got 17 and Piccolo fighting. Cell's on his way, and Krillin's going to get a remote control. So there's a lot of moving pieces going on here. And I do commend Toriyama for being able to keep this story straight with all these characters, because you got Trunks and Vegeta training, Goku and Gohan here, 17 Piccolo. So everyone's got something going on, and I like that.
Switching back and forth and back and forth. Yeah.
There's just a lot of stuff going on. Like they're all, everyone's everywhere, but they're all going to come together in one spot. So more of the combat. This is a good fight, bro. We can't go through and just show you every single panel and marvel at the art, but Toriyama has never sucked at drawing fights. He's always had good fights.
Yep. This fight particularly is really good in the anime.
Wouldn't Tien be the strongest Z-Fire at this point because of the Kikoho? No, he's not. If you think that Tien is stronger than Piccolo, bro, you're reading a different manga. I don't know what you're reading, but I do know what you're talking about. And this is one of those situations where stay tuned. We'll talk about it. What you're talking about, we're going to talk about soon. We're not there yet. So now 17 reveals that they might be evenly matched, but 17 has infinite stamina, which is true. And ultimately, Piccolo does not. However, so that means that 17 would have probably won if they kept fighting. However, Cell has arrived. And, what were you going to say?
Nothing. I was just going to say, that's definitely the advantage that 17 has over Piccolo. They make that clear.
Yep. So, moving on here, Cell is there, and now it becomes the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yep.
17 has no idea who Cell is. And then Piccolo's like, wait, they don't know who Cell is? Now, the reason as to why this is important is this tells us what I talked about last Mangalorian. Dr. Gero created Cell without telling 17 and 18. Because deep down inside, he knew there was always a possibility of them betraying him.
Yeah.
He knew it. He sensed it. And Cell was like his ultimate revenge. In the anime version, not the manga, in the anime version, there is a flashback that shows Cell hatching from his egg. And it's narrated by Dr. Gero. This is, of course, in the Japanese. And basically, Dr. Gero is like, you are my ultimate creation. You're my ultimate vengeance. The idea is that Cell is Dr. Gero's ultimate fuck you to everyone. 17, 18, and Goku and his friends.
Yep.
That's what he is, bro.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yes. Vince, this question, we're going to address it shortly, bro. Don't jump ahead. We are almost at that part now. We're almost at that part. We're literally pages away from it. So, again, they don't know what's going on. Now, again, Cell doesn't know who 16 is. That's another interesting twist. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, and I do like the idea that 16 in some way is the crux of Cell's existence because he's Gero's son.
Do you think that there is a reason as to why he didn't tell Cell about 16? I've always thought he just didn't tell Cell about any of the ones before 17 and 18 because they were irrelevant.
There's no reason to. He doesn't have to absorb 16, so why would he tell him about him, you know? So
yeah, it just seems like they're irrelevant. And then even Cell's like he's an older model, which he is. So Cell comes down, and then he starts to power up. In the anime version, they had a cool effect where you see like the ghosts of all
the spirits of all the people he's absorbed, the key,
Very haunting, bro. Very like.
That's like one of my favorite scenes in all of the Dragon Ball Z anime. I love that so much.
I actually think I did my video of like the 7 most underrated fights in Dragon Ball Z, and one of them is Cell versus 16 because I do like the upcoming 16 fight.
It's like some Shang Tsung stuff, you know.
Yes, it's very much like that. Except this chapter would have been what? Like, I got to look at the date. It would have been right around when Mortal Kombat 1 was 92, right? So this would have been, this was around 92.
Yeah, your soul is mine.
It's mine. That's the movie. I'm talking about the game.
Yeah, I know. I just saw somebody say it in the
in the movie, your soul is mine. No, Lou. I think the movie was like 96, right? Or 95. 95. 95.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now Piccolo's like, uh-oh, he's gotten stronger. He's glowing. He's almost frozen in fear. And
he's like, damn it, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, before I had this motherfucker. But now, you know, real quick, somebody look up when this chapter dropped in Weekly Shonen Jump, please. I don't want to have to go look it up now. I want to know when this chapter dropped to see if Toriyama maybe was inspired by Mortal Kombat.
I'm letting my dog out, bro. I'll be right back.
Okay. I was not expecting that. All right. So, moving on. There, look right here, bro. We're powerless. There's nothing we can do. If you're asking about the Kikoho, I'm going to get to it. So, Krillin now has arrived, and he's got to go. And now Tien Han is like, well, I might as well do what I can, even though we can't do anything. And then Roshi's like, no, Tien. Oh, you're back. No, Tien Han, don't. And then look at this. And then Roshi says, I miss the days of being Muten Roshi, the greatest in all the world.
I'm sure he does. It probably gets really overwhelming, all of these villains being that much more powerful than him all the time.
But you know what? In the 22nd tournament, he April of 92. So this would have been, okay, thank you to Magan and Super Elite. So this would have probably been right before Mortal Kombat came out.
Yep.
Yes, I know it was 92. I was asking specifically the month, bro. I said it was 92 earlier.
Yeah, I asked for the month. It was 92,
yeah, I knew it was 92, but I want to know the month. So this would have come out before Shang Tsung, which tells me April 21, 92. That tells me that this came first, but the programming for Mortal Kombat was already being worked on. So believe it or not, it's a coincidence.
It's wild.
Toriyama wasn't following Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat was not following Toriyama.
Yeah, it's wild to think about.
But you know what's even wilder, Jordan? The only reason I even know about Dragon Ball is because of Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. Because I bought a magazine that had information about Mortal Kombat in it. And this is when I was a snot-nosed fat kid. And I turned to a page and it says, coming in Japan only, Dragon Ball Z Super Futoden 2. And that was the first time I had ever seen Goku. It was Super Saiyan Goku with the smirk. And I saw the Kamehameha that looked like the Hadouken. And I was like, this is cool. Can I play this game? Had no idea whether it was a manga or an anime. Didn't even know what the fuck a manga was. If you would have been like, hey, you want to read manga? I would have been like, you mean mango? You don't read that, you eat it. That's what I would have said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's crazy that I found Dragon Ball because of fighting games, and so many fighting games have been inspired by Dragon Ball because Street Fighter was. So it was like the reverse. It was EGM, Jesse, Electronic Gaming Monthly.
I remember EGM.
I have a bunch of EGMs in the other room, bro. Sleep says Cell and Diddy would taking the place of Johnny this week is Sleep would be best friends, and the amount of kids Cell sucked had to have been at least over 100K. Sometimes they just come on here to pop themselves, bro.
Of course.
And that's okay. That's okay. Look, man, I like that kind of humor. It's just dark. It's very, very, very dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Because mango and manga sounds about the same. So, Killmonger says, I watched the whole DBZ series before I even knew there was a manga. A lot of people did. I don't think America was aware of manga for a while. Because, like, okay, let me ask you a question. Do you remember the first time you ever saw a manga in America?
Yeah, it was Astro Boy. I can't remember how old I was though. But
Do you remember like it was in a store or something?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I think it was in the library at school.
Yeah, see, the first time I ever saw a manga, not including the Dragon Ball singles that were those big like single comic book. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean like a manga volume.
Yeah, there was also the Buddha manga. It was an educational manga that was in the library that was about Buddha that I remember seeing too. There was like a lot of Tezuka manga in the library whenever I was a kid.
Yeah, see, I don't remember manga being in the library until after DBZ and other anime had blown up. But the first time I ever saw an actual manga volume, I think I was in school and it was during lunch and there was a kid reading manga. Now, I don't remember what manga it was. It wasn't Dragon Ball. It might have been something else. But this would have been like early manga. And then if you remember in 2003, remember in 2003, they started to print Shonen Jump here?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
And they had the thick ass Shonen Jump books. And they had, they started with the Cell Saga of Dragon Ball. They didn't even start at the very beginning. I have one of those somewhere in my closet, bro. Those are collector's items now, bro.
I can imagine. Yeah.
If anybody out there has the old Shonen Jumps that they printed in America, those are collector's items. Same thing with the Pojo and Beckett Dragon Ball Z magazines. You need to hold on to those until you're old because you may have something real special, bro. He says Shonen Jump used to be my shit. Jalen says that. I remember, and Jordan, correct me if I'm wrong, Shonen Jump America had Dragon Ball Z, Yu-Gi-Oh, and there was Naruto, and there was one other one, bro. What was the fourth story they were running? Do you remember? Was it like Initial D or something like that? Anybody know?
I can't remember. It's been a long time. I remember seeing stuff. I remember seeing a lot of anime that was in Shonen Jump at the time that were also coming on Fox Kids. I do remember that specifically. Like for some reason there was like this weird thing.
You're talking about the Fox box.
Yeah. There was this weird thing where a lot of the manga that was running in Jump at the time was coming on Fox Kids, but I can't remember exactly what it was. I can't remember. It's been years. It's been a long time.
Yeah, no, it's been years. It's just it's Mecca says, I wish Shonen Jump America continued. Magazines aren't really big in this country.
Yeah.
And not anymore. And Shaman King, this is way before Shaman King. This was I remember Shaman King being in there, but I'm talking about like the first
the first run, yeah.
Yeah. So Exalt says Prince of Tennis, Dragon Ball, XXX Holic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Death Note. Oh, he's got some, bro.
Nice.
Hold on to those, dude. Hopefully you kept them in good condition. Yeah, people are saying One Piece. I don't. Yeah, on One Piece did start on Fox Box, but One Piece the manga I saw, I think at the mall. This is a long time ago, bro. We're reminiscing on shit from like 20 years ago or more. Okay, so now Piccolo tells 17, he's gonna kill you and absorb you. And 17's like, what? Here comes Cell with the attack. And 17's like, whoa, he grabs him, throws him to the ground. Piccolo comes in and helps 17. So they were just only in Dragon Ball do you have two guys fighting, and then the very next chapter they're buddies. And he's like, surprise attack. What a low life. And then he's like, what do you mean? You said he's gonna absorb me. I'll keep it simple. That thing is a monster named Cell that was created by Dr. Gero's computer. He's still unfinished, but claims he'll be completed once he assimilates number 18 in yourself. She's like, what? Rejoice, my
what? Yeah.
I love the way he talks here. Rejoice, my brethren. By becoming one with my body, you will pause. You will give rise to the perfect super being with strength beyond all others. We will become the ultimate warrior. That's a pro wrestler. That's why I looked over. The Ultimate Warrior is a pro wrestler. If only they became the Ultimate Warrior. Dun, 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 dun. That Dr. Gero sought after for many years. When the stars and the moon and the planets align. And then 17's like, nah. And then here, 16 is like, run away. You can't beat him. Right. And 16's like, okay, we all have to work together now. So now it has truly become the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Now it's like Cell is the odd man out. Everyone has to work together. We'll pick up with the Goku shit later. Now we got to make sure that Cell is taken care of. But 17, being the hard-headed martial artist that he is, like everyone else in this series, he wants to fight. And both Piccolo and 16 are like, dude, this is not helping the cause right now. You can't beat him. Next chapter, chapter 370. Piccolo comes in, Cell sees him. This is some great art, dude. We talked about how when Toriyama does these half-page or full-page spreads, they're awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
I love this shot right here.
I like the way he's drawing. I like the way he's drawing Piccolo, particularly in this fight. He draws him a little bit differently than he normally does.
Well, he's bigger, like you said, and buffer.
Yeah.
Ali Baudrick says, I learned about Dragon Ball when I was in high school back in '93. You are older than I am, brother. Not saying that's bad, but it's rare. When at least in these chat rooms, when my friend Takaka introduced me to the manga to my best friend, and I've been hooked ever since. Were you okay? If you first read the Dragon Ball manga in '93, it wasn't in English, bro. You had to have read it in Japanese. Like, and if you were in high school in '93, then that would probably mean that you're in your 40s or early 50s, depending on what grade you were in, or if you got held back. So you could not have read it unless you read it in Japanese, because there was no English translation back then.
Yeah.
No, the fan translation. Hold on. No, there was no fucking fan translation in '93,
no,
dude.
not back then, no.
No, dude. The fan translation wasn't until '99, because that started with what's this guy's name, bro? Dai Mao. What the hell's his name, bro?
Who are you talking about?
He's somebody from the. He's a guy from the fandom from like.
Oh, Piccolo de Mayonnaise.
No, dude. No, that guy just came into the fandom like 5 years ago.
Oh, who are you talking about?
Curtis Hoffman. So
okay.
So Curtis Hoffman's nickname online back then was Dai Mao.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Curtis Hoffman was the first one to ever translate Dragon Ball and do summaries. Curtis Hoffman is one of the first Dragon Ball fans like us, where they're hardcore. They translated the manga, and not just that, he did summaries of the episodes. So he was in Japan. I think he was in Japan as an exchange student, and he knew Japanese, right? And he got into Dragon Ball, and he was one of the first. He was one of the first fans. Like, you understand how early this is?
This is
Like,
very early, yeah.
Yeah, this is the time when the only people who knew about Dragon Ball were people in Japan or those that saw the Harmony Gold dub. So it had to have been a Japanese one that he got.
Right.
Nicholas, he got it. He got the Japanese one. All right, that's obviously it. So Piccolo gets knocked down. Cell is above him. Cell knocks Piccolo away. This version of Cell is very strong.
He kicks him away kind of like Cell kicks Goku away whenever he fought 19.
Actually, you know what else? He kind of kicks him away. Doesn't Goku? No, wait. Who am I thinking of? Didn't Vegeta kick somebody away like that?
Yeah, Goku, whenever he had the heart virus. Yeah.
That's right. Right. Ali says, it wasn't Japanese. I just looked at the picture. I'm 48 years old. Oh, so you didn't know what the hell you were reading. But you know what? If I was a kid and I didn't know Japanese, I have a Japanese Dragon Ball manga volume there from back then that was given to me. And I didn't fucking know what, like, I knew what was happening because I had seen it subbed, but I didn't know like what they were saying every panel because I can't read Japanese. I can understand some Japanese if I hear it, but reading Japanese is very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Enjoy that vacation, bro. Let's move on. So 16.
He's pissed off because 17 didn't listen.
Yep. Now here comes Piccolo preparing his strongest attack. So a lot of people think that hold on, let me answer this from Carl. The Carl says, is Piccolo weak because he was weak from fighting 17 or because Cell absorbed all the humans? Both.
It's both, yeah.
It's both. It's literally both. Carl, Cell showed up at the absolute worst time. You know what I mean? So a lot of people think that Piccolo's strongest technique is the Makanko Sapo, the special beam cannon, and it is a strong technique for killing. But this move right here, Giretsu Kohan or whatever, this is when he uses up all his remaining power. This is like his strongest technique up until this point.
Yeah.
And I think it's called in the translation, it's called not Hell Zone Grenade, Hell Blaster or something like that.
Yeah.
I did a video on it. Anyways, there's the blast right for Cell. 17 moves out of the way. Huge light grenade. Thank you. Light grenade. Yeah. I don't know the exact
cloud.
Yeah. He fucking, hold on. Let me look up something real quick. Hold on. Yeah. The big mushroom cloud. Okay. So the move is called, there it is. Gekiretsu Kodan, which means Fury Light Bullet. Light grenade is not a bad translation, but it literally translates to Fury Light Bullet.
Wow.
That's a cool name, bro. So he thinks he got him, put a big ass hole in the island, but this is fucking Dragon Ball Z. No one's ever really gone. Yep. Great observation. It is like a Final Flash Big Bang Attack combination. He's actually right about that. Like, you're right. That's a good observation. So here comes Cell, and he's really strong. And Piccolo's like, I hit him with everything I got, and this dude survived. And Tenshin Han's like, well, we're fucked. And then he tells at 17. Another big, I love how Toriyama goes outside the panel here. I love when he does that.
Yeah, me too.
Piccolo goes down.
It really adds a sense of depth whenever he does that, like 3D.
That punch right there is so hard, he broke Piccolo's neck. He broke his neck with that punch. And then he picks him up here. His neck is broken. He's going to, I don't know my own strength right now. I got carried away with murdering people and took more energy than I needed. See ya. Now, at this point, when Cell blasts Piccolo through his chest, I want y'all to be honest with me. Be honest with me. Did you think when you first saw this that Piccolo was dead? Jordan?
I don't remember if I thought that or not. It's been a long time.
I want to see what the chat says. Cause I will tell you, I did think he was dead. And to be honest, this is the closest Piccolo's been to dying without actually dying. Because, I mean, look at that, bro. He killed
bro.
him.
It's brutal.
The only reason as to why I didn't think he was actually dead is because I knew that he was going to do more later in the arc. So I was, because I had just known from reading stuff, right? So, like, I knew he wasn't, like, going to stay dead. But the first time when you see this, right, it's gruesome, dude. And the way they do
I do remember distinctly getting annoyed because Piccolo is connected to the Dragon Balls, and yet he's always on the front line. I do remember that. I remember being like, why is he on the front line all the time? Of course, he's the strongest at this point, so it makes sense. But it's like,
Yeah, he's doing the best he can, but fuck, bro.
Yeah.
And this is Piccolo the Super Namekian. So this is the first time we're seeing a Super Namekian get his ass kicked like this. And everyone's shocked. 17's like he killed him. And then he throws him into the water like a piece of shit. Gohan snaps and Goku says his ki is gone. We were too late. Okay. Toriyama is trying to tell us that Piccolo's dead. Whether he had the whole thing planned out as a subversion or he wrote it as he went along, he wants us to believe that Piccolo's dead. Gohan's very angry. This began Gohan's, like, hatred for Cell. Like, I think this is really where it started. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is where Gohan's like, yeah, fuck this guy. And then 17's like, I won't be beaten that easy. And they're like, you need to leave. 18 is smart. 18's like, I got to get out of here. We can't fuck with this guy.
Yep. She's being smart.
The time has come for me to fight. Son Goku will have to wait. Huh? Oh, sorry about that. All right. Chapter 371, 16 stirs.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite. This is one of my absolute favorite covers because you've got
They're all flipping Cell off.
Yeah. Trunks, Yamcha, and Krillin. Not Vegeta and Tenshinhan. Not Goku, not Gohan, not Vegeta, but the others just flip and Cell off, bro. Toriyama, even after he straight up killed a main character in the previous chapter, he has to find a way to make the next chapter cover art lighthearted, bro.
Wacky,
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, people who think Toriyama wasn't a gag guy, he was always a comedian, dude. They censored it in the Viz. Yeah, brother. They censored it in the Viz. What else is new? Everything in English gets censored. Anyways, I love it. Moving on here. 16 steps up. But 17 wants, or Cell wants 17. And 17's being an idiot again. He's about to absorb him right here. And then I love this part, bro. In the anime and the manga. He's about to absorb him as 16 puts his hand on his shoulder, like here. He's like, my brother in Christ. Stop. Huh?
Yeah.
Bam. He knocked the fuck out of him, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, 16 instantly got fucking like love from this one. Like he's just like boom, like
he little broed 17 and Cell at the same time.
At the same time, dude.
Yeah.
He literally is. No, we got to talk about this. 16 is literally, because you nailed it. He's the big brother. Here's what happened. Let me paint the story. 17 and Piccolo were fighting in the playground. Then Piccolo's older brother Cell showed up, beat up on the younger 17, and then 17's older brother 16 showed up and was like, no, we're not playing that game. And the thing is, in the anime version, bro, the way they did the sound effect, especially with the original broadcast version,
Yeah,
Bam!
Yeah.
I mean, he fucking. Yeah, and look, even Cell's like, this motherfucker hit me hard. So now we're going to see the power of 16, who is stronger than 17 and 18, and Piccolo, obviously. And then 17 is like, are you trying to get yourself killed? He's like, no, I'm trying to stop your dumbass from fucking getting absorbed because we're about equal in terms of strength. So he comes in. Now it's Cell and 16. Very underrated fight. I enjoy it's short, but I like it. Like my dick. So he goes for a punch, tries to get behind 16. He tries to stab 16 and absorb him. The problem is that 16 is made entirely of
He's mechanical, yeah.
combat chassis. Yeah, he's made of metal. You're entirely robotic. And that's the first time that was revealed, I think, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So fucking 16. I remember when I first played fighters, I used 16 first, and I love that move where he takes off his hands and does that downward blast.
Oh, yeah.
He's a tank in that game, bro. So here he's stepping on. Now he rips off Cell's tail. This is what happens when your brain is a computer. Vegeta and Goku want to fight you at your best. 16 is not a martial artist.
Official. Yeah.
Yeah, he's logically saying, I need to remove this guy's tail to save 17. He doesn't know about the regeneration yet, obviously, right? So now fucking Tension On's like, great. And then Cell's like, I don't know. And he throws the tail away. No longer will you be able to assimilate 17 and 18. And then Cell says, oh, what a shame. And so close, too. But I have Piccolo cells within me. And then he's like, huh? And then he regenerates, bro.
Boom.
So, yeah, right there. Boom. Too bad John Wayne Bobbitt couldn't do that. And there's a reference.
Oh, no.
Choppy PP, bro. Does 16 have a heart? A mechanical heart, not a real heart.
Yeah, he's like the Tin Man.
But he's programmed to have a conscience, though, like to be a kind-hearted person.
Yeah.
But not a literal heart. So, oh, wait, hold on. Did I fuck up? No, never mind. Hold on. I thought we were, can you still see me?
Yeah, I can still see you.
Okay, this is weird. My screen shrunk. Wait, oh, hold on. I don't know. It's just something. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Okay. So now Cell powers up. 16 comes in. Cell's using his speed. Knocks 16 away. Again, lots of good fights this volume. Going in. And then we have Rocket Punch.
Yeah.
I love this move. Akira Toriyama loves robots. They're in most of his manga. They're all over Dr. Slump. Arale is a fucking robot.
Right.
You know that this man loved to do like the rocket punch move, bro.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that was dope. It's awesome.
Jordan, have you ever played Marvel vs. Capcom 2?
Yeah. I used to play in tournaments as a kid. Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe you can relate to me. I used to play Marvel vs. Capcom 2 at the mall in near University of South Florida.
You're going to talk about Sentinel?
There was always one kid there. Always the one kid. Loser Japanese kid. He would fucking pick Sentinel. Go to the corner of the screen. Rocket punch, rocket punch, rocket punch, rocket punch,
I remember
rocket
that.
punch, rocket punch.
Even
Bro,
even the CPU would do that sometimes. Like if you were fighting like a CPU version of Sentinel, sometimes they would do that shit.
Bro,
yeah,
I would come home and be dreaming about fucking rocket punch, rocket punch,
yeah,
rocket punch. Bro, if anybody in the chat has ever played Marvel vs. Capcom against a human who does this, you know what I'm talking about.
I was the type that was always like Hadouken constantly over and over again.
Man, fuck you for that. Just spam Iron Man. Iron Man was strong in that game.
He was, yeah.
And then he did the cannon, but what didn't War Machine go? It's my Sunday's best.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my Sunday's best.
Yeah.
What does that even mean, bro? It's my Sunday's best.
I don't know, but I love that game. I remember
I love that
seeing,
game.
like if you remember, if you finish somebody with a combination special move, the narrator would say the combination move like out loud, like
Yeah.
like
Shin Hadouken.
Yeah. Like there's one called Maximum Spider.
Maximum Spider, yeah, Spider.
Yeah, and if you did Maximum Spider and Shinku Hadouken at the same time, it'd be like Shinku Maximum Spider or like Maximum
Super Combo Finish.
Yeah.
And then fucking, I want to take you on a ride.
Oh my god, yeah.
And it loops. Right, it would loop over and over again. And when I got the game at home, I muted it because I got tired.
You're like, no, yeah.
I want to take you on a ride.
Here it up at the arcade, yeah.
It's my Sunday's best. Yeah. Anyway, no, remember Optic Blast and then Optic Sweep. Optic Blast, and then the blast would take up the entire screen, bro. That game was like Dragon Ball.
Cyclops and Ryu were a deadly combination.
Yeah, because they were both similar. Ryu even had the uppercut, except he would shoot the I beam up.
Yeah,
I love this manga. This is Big Bro, Little Bro right here, bro. Chapter 372, Big Bro, Little Bro. So Cell gets knocked away. He grabs his arm, reattaches it, which is great, because Lord knows he's gonna need that for No Nut November. He'll need that. He comes in, clocks Cell again. Now he's really, I love this, bro. He picks up Cell and straight up body slams him into the ground. I really like 16's aggressive wrestling style.
Yeah, he's not really a martial artist.
No, he's just a brawler, but that's refreshing to see a different style in the series, you know?
Yeah. So
he fires him, throws him into a hole in the ground.
There's that move you like so much.
Oh, it's coming. Yeah, it's coming. He takes off his fucking things. Bob Hell's Flash. That's a great bro. 16. This is what I'm saying, man. Y'all got to stop sleeping on 16 versus Cell. This was a good little fight. I love this panel right here, bro.
Yeah, 16's awesome.
He fucking blasted him so hard that the beam crushed the fucking island from the bottom.
Yeah, it's coming out of the mountains like a volcano.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, this is a fun volume, bro. Dragon Ball, there's very few parts of this manga that I don't like. I'm not saying it's perfect, but there's always something to like in every volume. You know what I'm saying? So big asshole, right?
Pause.
Thank you. Yes. And then 17's like, he was hiding that much power. He's stronger than me. But 16 knows that Cell's not dead. He took some damage, but he's not dead. And then 17's like, oh, come on. I'm not going to do that. I mean, look right here what he says. I love this panel coming up. He goes, you're joking, right? After all, the pain he put me through just now, I'm not leaving until I get a few hits of my own in. You damaged him pretty good, didn't you? Then I'll be the one who finishes him off. This is like Vegeta shit right here, bro.
Yeah.
He's doing boneheaded Vegeta shit. And look who comes up from behind. Pause. Right out of the ground. And this is symbolic because remember, he burrowed himself in the ground when he first went back in time to allow the larva form to develop. Cell is behind you, huh? I've come out as you asked.
Wow. This is so terrifying.
Yeah, bro. And then the thing that's scary is Cell's face, bro. The glee.
He's so excited, yeah. It's like whenever a cat catches a mouse. It's that type of thing, you know?
Right. there's a YouTuber called Sensible Saiyan who broke down this fight like an actual match. He's made some dope videos and is leading up to Gohan versus Cell. Yeah, that was an idea that I had that I never got to do. I was going to do a fight breakdown of every single fight in the anime, like shot by shot, but I realized that would take forever. And yeah, it would take forever. And I was going to do it with Kendamu, but it just never happened.
Oh, I see.
But it was a fun idea. I'm glad Sensible Saiyan's doing it. I haven't seen his videos yet. But at least someone's doing it. But I mean, I don't know how much Sensible Saiyan knows about martial arts, but the more you know, the better it is. You saw some of my fight breakdowns. If you watch the Daima breakdown videos, that's
I've heard you break down wrestling matches really well too. So you're good.
Yeah, well, that's my love, bro. So here he is. Now this is very similar to a snake. A snake has muscles inside of its body. First of all, a snake can unhinge its jaw. So a snake, if y'all have ever seen a snake eat, bro, it's terrifying.
It is terrifying.
So it starts to swallow you, and it's got muscles in its throat going all the way back to like its what do you call the body of a snake? Is there a name for it? Torso or whatever?
I don't know.
And so the snake has like acid in its stomach that's melting you down. Yep. Now, that's not what's happening here. What's happening here is Cell's body is assimilating 17 into energy. It's basically I hate to say it like this, but he's drawing out the nutrients of 17, which is, of course, his power. And then he starts to mutate. And he's like, he swallowed him whole. Pause. Yeah, and then he starts to mutate, and now they're like, we need to get out of here now. So 16 and 18 are out. Goku and Gohan are like, huh? That Cell guy's ki just swelled up to an amazing level. This ain't good. One of the artificial humans must have gotten absorbed. Da-na-na, there is.
This must be the image that Toriyama's editor saw and was like, nah, bro, what are you doing?
Second form Cell. Yeah, the second form Cell was Toriyama's favorite version of Cell, but his editor was like, no, hurry up and make him perfect. Yeah. Now, what's funny about this is when Superhero came around, and when we first saw what Cell Max looked like, I was like, this is Toriyama getting back at his editor. Yeah. It's like, I'm going to make Cell Max look like second form Cell. Yeah. Some call this Cell Form 2. Some call him second form Cell.
Which I like that because he's a monster in Superhero. And the first and second form, I think, are way more monstrous looking. Although Cell Max looks kind of like a combination of the perfect form and the second form, though. He's not exactly like the second form. But yeah, the face is definitely
the face. Yeah, the face for sure. Yeah. Cell, but this is Toriyama's favorite one. I like, this is my least favorite, but it comes down to personal taste.
Do you like this design or Cell? Which one do you like more, the Cell Max design or this design, the second form design?
So design wise, just this one. But I like Cell Max more for one reason and one reason only. Shin Godzilla.
Yeah, I like Cell Max's design a lot. He looks like he's wearing boots. I think that's what I like about his design. He looks like he's wearing Timberland boots or something. It's funny.
Yeah, well, the Shin Godzilla attack that he does as a fan of that movie, you know what I mean, is like Toriyama obviously saw that film, bro.
Yeah.
I think Toriyama, when he was alive, saw every Godzilla film, but I really want to know if he saw -1. That's what I want to know, bro. Chapter 373, Prevent It, Cell's perfect form. So now we have a full body shot of second form Cell. Yes, he is ugly. They're about to escape, but Cell's now stronger and has more speed. So he catches up to them very, very easily. Now, Ten Shin Han is like, what am I going to do? I can't do anything. He's like, okay, I'm going to try and do something, but forgive me, Chaozu, I might die. In all honesty, I'm impressed by this newly acquired speed. No doubt result from absorbing 17. So now 16 tries to
Doesn't have
attack
a
him.
chance. Yeah, now he doesn't have a chance.
Yeah, right. He punches him in the face. Nothing. No damage. Cell blasts the fuck out of him, knocks him down. And now there's really no chance. Like if they would have jumped on imperfect Cell or first form Cell, they might have done something. Now you're fucked.
Yep.
And then this is the part where
Cell uses it. You know what, dude? This is the
Terminator.
It's not just Terminator, it's also Mortal Kombat. It's the same thing.
With Shang Tsung?
Yeah, where he'll use like the persona of somebody else to like manipulate people to do what he wants to do. It's just like that. It's so cool to think about.
I've always just thought of it like Terminator, where she's talking
It's definitely a Terminator centric thing, but it reminds me a lot of Shang Tsung as well. Because if you remember at the very end of the Mortal Kombat movie, the original one, he turns into Liu Kang's little brother.
Right.
And he's like, yeah.
But remember, that came after this. That was 95.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It reminds me
that is a very that movie I've always liked, Mortal Kombat, not Annihilation. The first one, I've always enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
Now, this scene though, in particular, where he's using 17's voice, is really creepy. In the anime and the manga, it's very, very creepy. I love it, and I think it's more impactful in the anime because you actually hear 17's voice.
Yeah.
This question is for you.
Yeah, not only does Wukong mimic people's voices, he'll just straight up transform into people. Like he'll just multiple times, like for example, yeah, when he meets Pigsy the first time, the woman that Pigsy is trying to basically force to be his wife. How Wukong gets close to him is he transforms into his wife and then gets in the room with him, and Pigsy tries to sleep with him, and then he beats his ass. So yeah, like Wukong does that a bunch, where he like disguises himself as a character, or like changes his voice. Like he does that a lot.
Isn't 18 weaker than 17? A little bit, but that's nothing to do with this. So he hit him so hard he broke off half his head. He knocked it off. They have nothing. They can't do anything. And I like this part too, because he's doing the 17 boys. He's like, we can fulfill Dr. Gero's wishes. We'll defeat Son Goku and hold the world in the palm of our hands. And 18
like,
goes,
I know better than that bullshit.
Yeah, you are not 17. We hated Dr. Gero for converting us against our will. We would never address him as Dr. Gero Sama, which means Lord in Japanese. So, yeah, man. I like it. She's not gonna fall for it.
Yep.
But he's like, fuck it, you can't do shit. Here comes Tien Han, and he blasts him. Now
let's explain this.
You want to explain this? Okay,
yeah,
do you want me to do it? First of all, Tien Han is weaker than 17 and Piccolo.
Yeah.
And 18.
It's not that Tien Han is stronger than everybody there. It's the fact that the Kikoho in particular has the potential to be pretty much as powerful as Tien or Tien Han needs it to be, depending on how much of his own personal life energy he puts into the Kikoho. So, and the reason he calls it the Shin Kikoho here is because he's doing a super version of it, where it's like he's using way more of his life energy than he normally would. And that's the reason that he apologizes to Chaozu right before he starts doing this, because he knows that he's basically like committing suicide. So it's not that Tien Han is stronger than everybody. It's just that he's using a move in a very sacrificial way to do what he needs to in this situation.
I want to actually add to what you're saying, because there's more to what you just said. I talked to Herms about this years ago, because I had to have him check the original Japanese manga to see, like, what the kanji and the katakana said. So, first of all, Tri-Beam is a fucking dub name. that takes away the entire fucking reality of that technique. It's the Kikoho. Now, again, as Jordan said, the technique eats up your life. The Shin Kikoho, I think it's called the Neo Tri-Beam in video games. Well, the word in the English video games, it's the Shin Kikoho. The Shin Kikoho is not the same as the Kikoho. The Shin Kikoho, listen to me. The way that technique works, the Shin stands for new. It is a newly modified version of the technique he used against Goku or he tried to use against Goku in OG Dragon Ball. The last time Tenshin Han did the Kikoho, he died because he hit Nappa with it. The Shin Kikoho, listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying, because this will explain why he was able to stop Cell. Because, it doesn't make sense. It makes sense if you understand the context. The Shin Kikoho is not the same as the normal Kikoho. The Shin Kikoho utilizes all of Tenshin Han's life energy right before he dies. Like, literally, like, he drains himself all the way down. Then he gets more, and he keeps draining himself. But right before he dies, he doesn't die. Because that's the Shin Kikoho. If he hit him with the Kikoho, he would have died. Now, he couldn't do this move forever. At some point, he would have died. It's just that this new version of the technique allows him to survive. Does he use less energy? No, I just explained more. He's using more energy. Shin Kikoho.
Yeah, he's draining himself.
Yes. Now, draining himself. But what I was going to say, because again, the dub is why this is confusing to people, at least to some, is the technique is not enough to kill Cell, but it is enough to hold him down while 16 and 18 run. That move was never going to kill Cell. Yeah. That move was never going to kill Cell, but it would have held him down, and it does for a little while.
Yeah.
So that's your explanation. To me, it makes sense. It's still dangerous, but it is cool that Toriyama gave Tenshin Han more shine. There was a super chat here. I love Tenshin Han's heroism here. Yes, Toriyama always gives him a couple of spots. Like he's got a couple spots in the Buu arc too. Okay, hold on. I see what I did wrong here. Okay, all right, we're almost done here. Chapter 374, Goku and Cell's first confrontation. So he's hitting him with the Shinkikoho, and also in the anime version, he hit him harder and more. He hit him more often.
Really deep. He gets him really deep underground, and then he just keeps hitting him to where he can't get out of the hole, like over and over and over again. Just like bah, bah, bah.
Right, but the anime version does it more than in the manga. I think in Toriyama's mind, if he had done that move as many times as he did in the anime, he probably would have died. Yeah, that's the way I see it. Sleep says, I like how the Android arc focused on every character and was one of the few arcs that Goku didn't defeat the main villain. I really wish DBS would focus on other characters rather than the Saiyans. Well, we've been talking about that for a long time. And really, Dragon Ball Super is mostly Goku and Vegeta's show. So, anyways, let's continue. 16 and 18 got to run. He's holding Cell down. That ain't going to last forever. And right here, Goku's like, stop Tenshin Han. If you keep using the Kikoho, you're going to end up dead. Like, he knows it. This is a very dangerous thing he's doing. And look, he's tired right here. In the anime, he hit him with it like 12 times. In the manga, it was what, 3 maybe? 3 or 4?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, you got to read the manga because the anime does change things to make things more confusing. So he's out of energy. Like if he blasted one more here, he'd be dead.
He would have
Okay.
died. Yeah.
Yeah. So now Cell is like, okay, they got away. Fuck. And he's like, he was about to big bang attack him right there. It looks like he looks half dead already, but I think I'll finish him off. And then Goku shows up.
Goku's like, nah.
I love Goku's face here. Masaki Sato style. And this is where Goku and Cell first meet face to face. He's like, right now, there's no chance I can beat you. But wait just one more day and I'll mop the floor with you. Huh? Really? And now what Goku's doing here is he's playing to Cell's cells. Goku knows that Cell is composed of the cells of him and Vegeta. So he knows that Cell's curiosity, because now Cell could have killed, right here, Cell could have killed Goku. But he knows that Cell's dick would have got hard at fighting a stronger Goku. So literally Goku's playing with him.
Psychologically manipulating him. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. You understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, he does this with almost every character. It's like the Goku
he did it to Frieza as well. You're right.
Yeah.
Can you hope to change this in a single day? He's like, yeah, don't worry. And then he realizes that Piccolo's actually alive. So he finds Piccolo. Piccolo's barely alive. I don't even know how he's barely alive, but he is. And he's like, how did Son Goku get here? These are all questions. Cell doesn't even know how Goku got there.
Yeah, the instant transmission is fascinating. Yeah.
Right, but here's the thing. What I like about this, Cell would learn that move at the end of the arc. And I find it funny that here he's thinking about like, how did he know?
Yeah. How's he doing that?
Yeah. And then he actually tries to attack Goku, but Goku leaves. So he's like, oh, he's gone. What an odd technique. When did you learn such a move? Because remember, he doesn't know by Yard Rat. So now 18 is the target. Here comes Cell. There's Bulma, who meets up with Krillin. And this is where Bulma hands Krillin the remote control. This is the only hope now. If you push the button, 18 can blow up, and then Cell won't be able to become perfect. But then Krillin will stay a virgin the rest of his life. I mean, not really, but that's what he's thinking of.
Yeah.
So he gave them some senzu. They're back. They're okay. Meanwhile, Trunks and Vegeta have left the Room of Spirit and Time. Chapter 375. Vegeta and Trunks depart.
Do you like Trunks's new look here?
I like him with the armor, and I actually like him better when he goes into grade 3 and his hair's just going everywhere. But I still prefer the short-haired Trunks. But I do like him here because I like when he actually he's bigger too. Like he's notably bigger. Like he's jacked.
Yeah. Yeah, I like how big he looks standing next to Vegeta too. It's hilarious.
He's massive. So he says, Zero X Zack says, I like how Cell has 17's eyes. I never picked up on that. Does he have 17's eyes?
Yeah.
Are they red?
No, he's just got the eyes, the shape of the eyes. It's just, you know how 17's got those dark things under his eyes?
Yeah, like I do.
Yeah, like the way, it's basically the way his eyes are shaped are much more like 17. Yeah.
I have those dark things because I've been in Super Saiyan 4 all my life. That's why I have the GT version. So this is alpha, bro. They come out of there. And like I said, Trunks like a different person, bro. Jacked. After 2 whole months in the Room of Spirit and Time, my father has surpassed the Super Saiyan form. 2 months. However, he was not satisfied with his power, so he trained some more to become proficient at using it. This is foreshadowing. Don't you dare waste your time with them. So even Vegeta's like, no, like even he's starting to like kind of bond with Trunks, even though he won't admit it. And then he's like, you'll find out soon. If you go back in the room to train, all you'll be doing is wasting your time. I'll wipe out Cell and the androids off the face of the earth with my bare hands. Cell's become so incredibly strong, an incredibly strong monster. I checked on that thing after he sucked up 17. I didn't write it. Let me take that one too, bro. Let me take that one too. Let me take that one, bro. Out of context.
You sucked him, bro.
He sucked up 17, bro. All right, Sleep says, if Goku masters Super Saiyan in the same way he did for Super Saiyan Blue, would Goku win against Cell? He did master Super Saiyan. He used full power Super Saiyan. And no, he didn't win. 277060. Between what chapter episodes is it best to experience the Trunks Bardock specials? In my opinion, just before they investigate the second time machine is best. All right, I'm going to give you my opinion.
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah.
Yes, this is for the anime, not for the manga. Bardock special should be right around Dragon Ball Z episode 60 to 63, 64. Anytime around then. The history of Trunks, in my opinion, should be right after Dragon Ball Z episode 139. 139 is the episode where the androids kick their ass, and then Piccolo goes off to see Kami. The reason as to why that's the time is because everything revealed in history of Trunks, like you already know what the androids look like, so you don't have to even see that, and you already know how strong they are. So that is the way I see it. Now, for the manga, Toriyama wrote the story of Trunks right before the Cell games. So we'll probably read it right around then, I guess, right? Like,
yeah, and also I think the placement that you mentioned I think is good because you get to see the parallel between the androids in the future saga versus this, right? So you get to see what they're like in the future in comparison to what they're like here.
Trust me, I thought about this a lot.
Yeah.
Check out a video on this channel called How to Watch Dragon Ball The Geekdom Order, and it goes through like how to watch Dragon. I don't have Daima on there, but this is before Daima.
Yeah.
Do you get 4 to 5 inches of height once you both go grade 2 and 3? Well, your muscles make you taller, bro. You know, so, okay, he says, watch History of Trunks after 139. I'm at 119. 119 is the first appearance of Trunks. Don't watch it then, bro. Anyways, let's move on. So Bulma shows up. She says that Trunks needs a haircut. And again, because she's so useful, he's like, what did you come here for, woman? We should not be jabbering around about pointless things. She brought some newly made armor that, you know, it says, I came here to bring battle armor that you requested. Since it came out so well, I brought a pair for everyone. So Goku, Gohan, Trunks, and Vegeta get Saiyan armor. Jordan, can you tell the people why this is symbolically important?
Yeah, because Goku, he embraced, you know, his heritage as a Saiyan in the last arc. And what he's getting, the experience that he's getting ready to have with Gohan is going to reflect that. The lesson that he's getting ready to teach Gohan is going to reflect the same lessons that he learned on Namek. And it's very similar with Trunks and Vegeta here in the next section of the manga whenever they fight each other. This next little section of the manga is very Saiyan-centric. So that's why they're doing it.
Yeah. This is where the story really becomes about the fathers and the sons, Goku, Gohan, Trunks, Vegeta, and Jordan and I will be doing an analysis on not yet, but in the coming episodes of the Mangalorian on Vegeta and Trunks' relationship compared to Goku and Gohan's and how it differs and the pros and cons, because Goku actually shows himself to be a superior father. Believe it or not, internet, he does, but it all has to do with, as he said too, the fact that these are the last Saiyans left. Piccolo wouldn't wear that armor. It's not for him.
Yeah.
So Sleep says, if I remember, perfect Super Saiyan Blue is different because he uses no aura. I know he has full power. Shower
Shower
Saiyan,
Saiyan.
but it's not
Yeah,
exactly
you're
the
right.
same
You're right.
mastery.
That's because Super Saiyan Blue is about ki control in a different way in comparison to the mastered variation of Super Saiyan. The mastered
It's a
variation of
similar
Super Saiyan,
concept.
it is very similar, yes, but the mastered variation of Super Saiyan is about basically imbuing your personal nature, who you are outside of the effect that anger has on your personality with Super Saiyan, to the point that you don't even have to worry about the effect that Super Saiyan's having on your personality anymore. You're essentially your true self in Super Saiyan. Like, that's kind of what Mastered Super Saiyan is. Whereas with Blue, it's withholding in all of their ki. So they're similar, but and they have to do that through staying calm and controlling themselves through the Super Saiyan transformation, just like Mastered Super Saiyan. But
And
they're similar, but they're different. Yeah.
and you know what else is symbolic of that? The fact that when we get to the Cell games, Goku's wearing his gi, Gohan's wearing the Piccolo gi, Trunks and Vegeta are still wearing this armor.
Yep.
It's basically to show that Goku and Gohan have the right idea about mastery of Super Saiyan and mastery of oneself versus Vegeta and Trunks, who are still learning. Like that this is the shit that you're only going to get on this fucking stream, or you might get it from some jabroni YouTuber who has writers. I don't have no fucking writers, and neither does Jordan. Yeah. Sir Ian Lucas says future Trunks got his timeline erased. Meanwhile, 18 got a happy ending, happy living family, and 17 saved U7. Well, he also got a family too. Damn, does Toriyama have future Trunks? I think he means hate future Trunks. No, but I think Toriyama has dragged Trunks through the mud when it comes to bad luck.
He's like any Terminator character. They all get drugged through the mud constantly. Like, that's really what it is.
Yeah, and it sucks for him. I do wish that he got a better ending. So even Goku is enjoying the armor, and then Vegeta's like, you're not even going to get a chance to fight. So he takes off to go find Cell.
He's so cocky, bro.
Yeah, he's very confident in surpassing Super Saiyan, which he did. And Super Vegeta, we'll talk about that next week. Do your best, make sure. And then Goku's being, see, there, right here is Vegeta and Goku as parents. Pay attention to what I'm about to say. Vegeta tells Trunks, I'm going to go take care of this guy. Fuck you. And he leaves. Trunks is like, well, what the fuck? Goku is like, do your best, but make sure you don't do anything reckless. If things got too dangerous for you, it's best that you run away. Thanks for everything. Good luck with your training. Goku steps up as the father figure to give Trunks motivation. Meanwhile, Trunks' father, Vegeta, is still a dick.
Which is awesome because that when Trunks sees Goku, he also sees his master, Like,
well, it's the fact that Vegeta's character... Yeah, right. But Vegeta's character arc is still ongoing. It's still... He hasn't changed yet. He's still a douchebag. That's just the truth. He's not Goku yet, and he won't be for a long time.
I just love to think about like what Trunks' perspective is on Goku, because Goku is Gohan's father, and
he never met him.
And Gohan is like Trunks' father figure, like more than Vegeta ever was. Like, Gohan was more like Trunks' father than Vegeta was. So that's what I really love about this scene, is because you can tell that Trunks, he's always had like a natural respect and admiration for Goku, and I like that that's like a side effect of his relationship with his master Gohan. So
Cell is looking for 18 and 16. This is the part where Cell is screaming. Like, this is not going to work, bro. You screaming at the island, telling 18, where are you? It's not going to work, dude. They're not. Oh, here we are. Like, it's not going to work.
Yeah,
bro.
I love how he's like a loudspeaker,
And everybody's like, damn, bro. Yeah, and then the chapter ends with Vegeta notably more jacked even before he transforms. Look at this. What an asshole. Don't worry, 18. He will not kill you. He wants his perfect form more than anything else. And then Vegeta's on his way. So next Mangalorian, we dive into Super Vegeta, Super Saiyan Grade 2. Trunks,
That's gonna be a
and
lot of fun.
actually, I believe Cell becomes perfect. The
Yeah, I think
next,
he does
okay,
too.
the next volume is Transformation City, Grade 2, Grade 3. Gohan Go Super Saiyan and Perfect Cell. So there's going to be a lot of transformation.
That's true.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
coming up. Yeah, a lot of combat too. So we'll be talking more about it. Anyways, man. All right. Thanks again, guys, for joining us. If you're new to the series, go back and click the playlist, watch all the Mangalorians. They run about an hour and 45 to about 2.5.
2 hours.
A
Yeah.
couple of chapters, most of them are 2 hours. A couple of the volumes we did had to go longer, like the Frieza one, because there was so much packed in there. But this one was a breeze.
Yep.
So,
and thank you guys for stopping by. We'll see you guys in the next Mangalorian. So
we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Have